Hello. The topic of today's video is decomposition and a long-term planning of software project. So today we'll be looking at how to properly decompose the project, create a schedule, and define main characteristics of project execution plan. So let's take a look at an example. Suppose we have a project with the following terms. We need to create an online store with two departments, toys department and food department. Store websites must be heavily personalized, but have centralized reporting capabilities. The project manager basically asks us two questions. First of all, they want to know how much time it would take to implement the project, and they want to know about particular feature, right? So how much time it would take to implement only toys department or only food department or all departments, plus create a centralized reporting. And the second thing is they want to know is a recommendation on number of teams required to implement the project. Let's take a look at architecture. So in this architecture, we have two websites, toy department website client application and food department website client application. And those applications, they also have a backend, which is represented by API application, and they also have databases, which serve as a point of storing the data for those applications. And in the center, we have unified reporting database and reporting website client application, which basically serves the role of the unified reporting, which was requested by the manager to implement, right, by the business. Okay, so open the Planner app. This is a great app to generate artifacts out of decomposition, basically perform scheduling, generate reporting. So it's very handy to provide this kind of operations, that planning operations we are doing. So the first thing to do here is to basically input all of the components which were defined during the decomposition into the system, right? There's like business components, business features, and system components. From business features perspective, I kind of entered all of the features which we talked about previously. So those include the feature of food department, toys department, and the combined feature of like both departments and the combined reporting. And I also entered all the system components which are required to implement the business requirements. The components itself are basically the copy from architectural diagram, so you can see it on the screen here. After that, I kind of mapped the specific features to these components so that there is a connection between those in the system. And after that, I entered all activities which are required to implement the components. Basically, those activities include business requirements, development, release activities, and this more detailed description of the items which need to be completed, but still I indicated that they have high level of uncertainty. So once that is done, we can now look into the artifacts which system generated for this decomposition. So first thing you want to look at is, of course, effort analysis. You can see that the system breaks down all of the activities in the components for like per activity types, like for development, release, business requirements, and so on, and presents the actual effort for each activity type, which can be extremely useful for a project manager, and that can help to basically answer the questions which project manager asked. you can filter by a specific feature to understand how much effort this feature requires for implementation. But now let's look further and understand how many teams we may need to implement those features. So in order to accomplish the task, I created a schedule and I assumed some of the teams participating in the development activities in the year 2025. So I'm kind of creating a plan for annual plan for 2025 with certain number of teams participating and with certain deliverables, right? So let's say we want to deliver only one feature, which would be the tourist department only feature. So in order to do that, I need to only include the components related to tourist department. We can observe that we have 3 components required to implement the feature. And what is great about this app is that it generates the schedule automatically based on data such as deliverables and teams provided in the input. On the schedule, we can see that the implementation of those components will require around 2 quarters, right? And basically, they will be delivered on a quarter 2, like our feature, which is called tourist department, right? Now, let's suppose that we want to deliver both of those features, like tourist department and the other one, which is the food department, and basically want to deliver also the reporting. So in order to do that, we can include those features, those components, which are required for that to the schedule. Okay, we scheduled all the items, and now we can see how the progress will look like for our features and for the system components. So we can see that partially the components will be delivered in quarter 1, then some of them will be delivered in quarter 2, and the rest of them will be delivered in quarter 3. So we can say that basically all the components will be delivered by quarter 3, and all of the features will be implemented by quarter 3. Now let's do another experiment. Let's add one more team to the schedule, but also let's do a separate schedule so that we could compare them afterwards. I created a new schedule. I entered the same teams as I entered in the previous one, and also I entered all of the deliverables which are required to deliver my features. But now I actually added another team here with the same velocity and the same responsibility like development, and in order to observe how the schedule will change. So let's take a look at the earned value chart. So now we can see that actually with 2 teams, the progress will be much faster and the features will be delivered in the second quarter. That's it for now. That's the most basic description of decomposition and long-term planning I wanted to provide. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments on this video. Thank you and have a good day.